Hey, welcome to the Culture Podcast. This is day 2 of the draft, rounds 2 and 3. This has been it's been a good day. It's been a little bit of a crazy day. There's been some picks that have been questionable. There's been some really good picks. With that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. We're still doing live at the end of the third. Tennessee Titans picking at 92 is getting ready to come in. Oh, Monty Rice. Okay, I like that. So they picked Monty Rice from Georgia, linebacker. He's a little bit of short linebacker. No, okay. He measured a little bit bigger. But yeah, he's a good linebacker. I don't know. Did they lose Jayon Brown? I don't remember if the Titans lost Jayon Brown. I don't think they did. They have Rashawn Evans, so maybe just kind of like a backup, rotational backer, whatever. Anyways, kind of doing the same thing I did yesterday. I'm gonna go through the picks that have already happened and do the live picks also. So I'm gonna go through the picks that have already happened and pick out some of my favorite ones. This day is longer. There's over 64 picks, so I'm not gonna go through every single pick because that would be pretty long. But we're just gonna we're gonna go through and I'm just gonna rattle some off, or maybe what I'll do is I'll say every pick and I'll say something about the ones that I like. Let's do it that way. So first pick was Tyson Campbell, good corner. He ran like 4.29, or no, that was Stokes from last night that went to Green Bay. I don't think he was too far behind. I think he might have been like 4.35, 4.33, something like that. Elijah Moore, that was my first pick that I really liked, which was the next pick. Give Sam Darnold a weapon. This dude is quick. I mean, he has elite quickness. His route running is pretty good. He's gonna be instant production for Sam Darnold. They got Corey Davis. What the hell is his name? Jamison Crowder. So yeah, I like that pick. Denver drafted Javonte Williams. And they traded up for him. I don't remember how far they traded up, but they traded up for him. I didn't understand that. They have Melvin Gordon, which, I mean, he's not a world beater, but had Melvin Gordon. I want to say they have somebody else. Royce Freeman, maybe. Hell, I don't know. I don't pay attention to the Broncos enough, I guess. Javon Holland, I like that pick. Safety out of Oregon, safety / nickel. He can play some nickel corner. If you don't know what the nickel means. Landon Dickerson to the Eagles, thought that was a good pick. Christian Barmore to New England. Like I said yesterday, they always seem to get somebody that shouldn't be there. Tevin Jenkins to Chicago, good pick. Richie Grant, pretty good safety, go to Atlanta. Their defense was tragic last year. Levi Onwuzurike from Washington. He's a cool little player, very disruptive. But the thing that I liked, I saw a tweet. Let me see if I can find this tweet real quick, because the tweet was, I mean, a Hall of Fame quote. Because if somebody told me this, I would want to draft him too. So Levi had this quote. He said, "I like fucking people up. I like to get off the line and just put my helmet or my hands on an offensive lineman and fuck up an offensive scheme, pretty much. I just like pushing them back 2-3 yards and just making them feel like shit. If that doesn't make you want to run through a wall, bro, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing with your life. That quote made me want to go put the pads on. I'm telling you. Anyway, so let's get back to it. Liam Eichenberg to Miami, protect Tua. Trayvon Moreg to the Raiders. Bills pick is in. Buffalo. Spencer. Spencer Brown, tackle from Northern Iowa. Thought he was going to go a little bit later. I mean, maybe 4th round. So, I mean, that's not that far off. But, yeah, I thought he was going to go a little bit later because he went to Northern Iowa, kind of a developmental tackle. Anyways, Trayvon Moreg from TCU, safety. So then he went to the Raiders. What is weird is if the Raiders would have flopped their picks, so if they would have drafted Trayvon Moreg in the 1st round and Alex Leatherwood in the 2nd round, nobody would have batted an eye. But it went ass backwards, or bass backwards, as I like to say. I mean, what hell, but they ended up getting 2 starters for sure. Then we got Kelvin Joseph going to Dallas. They need all the help they can get on defense. Sorry about that. Walker Little going to Jacksonville, protect Trevor Lawrence. Jackson Carman going to the Bengals, protect Joe Burrow. I mean, it's a repeat thing. You get a good quarterback, you have to protect him. So Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, you got to protect him. Keep him upright. That's the goal. I mean, obviously, because I'm a Chargers fan, I'm always gonna talk about the Chargers pick. But this is one of those. This is shaping up to be one of those drafts where somehow we get people to fall to us that really shouldn't be there. And we got Asante Samuel Jr., which I do like a few mock drafts on the side, and every once in a while I got him to fall to me. But I mean, that is gonna be Brandon Staley's. I don't want to say Jalen Ramsey, but that's going to be his type of role. He's going to be our number 1 lock-up corner, hopefully. We had Aaron Banks going to San Francisco. Good out worse. He's a really good backup interior lineman, but he probably will start. I don't really know a lot about the 49ers interior line. We got Rondale Moore going to Arizona. He the Baltimore Ravens are picking, and Jacoby Jones is the guest announcer for the pick. The draft is in Cleveland, and they're booing him, and he's talking shit to the Cleveland fans. He's like, "Hey, I got a ring." Georgia. Oh, that is a good pick, bro. That boy's a fool. Ben Cleveland, that's a solid pick for Baltimore. He's 343. 6'6", 343. Massive offensive lineman just to pave the way for that run game. That is ridiculous. They have Marshall Yonder retired. And, basically, shit, that's his replacement. As far as I see it, he's going to take over that Marshall Yonder spot and just maul the shit out of people. I love that pick. And to get him at the end of the 3rd round, that's some good shit right there. Rondale Moore going to Arizona. That was a good pick. Little gadget player. Needs to work on his route running a little bit, but I mean, if you paid attention to college football a few years ago when he was a true freshman, where he couldn't be touched. It was like Tavon Austin level, untouchable. Like nobody could tackle him. He's running past everybody. He's the angle beater. He's like a 4-2, high. Like he's one of the 4-2 guys. Azeez Ojulari. A lot of people thought that the Giants might pick him in the first round, and he fell to them in the second. Did they trade? Is that where they traded back? I think they traded back. So that was a really good pick by them. The Bucks are picking Robert Hainsey, guard, Notre Dame. Okay, backup lineman. I would assume he's not going to replace anybody on the line because they brought everybody back. But I mean, solid backup that I would assume would take over eventually. So he's a 3rd-round pick. Okay, a little nasty. I like that. He played right tackle. The Notre Dame left tackle went earlier. But they announced him as a guard. But yeah, I like these little highlights they got on him. Okay. Sammy Cosmi going to Washington football team. I like that pick. He's not gonna replace. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. He's not gonna replace Trent Williams. He's not to that level, but he's a good solid tackle. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah ended up falling to the 20th pick in the 2nd round, which a lot of people thought he was going to be a 1st-round pick. He went to the Browns, and I knew when they were on the clock, I was like, oh, that's the pick, bro. Got to be. Because they need a linebacker. And he's kind of like a linebacker safety hybrid. He's kind of in that. I don't want to say he's going to be as good as Derwin James, but he's kind of in that mold. Derwin James, Darius Leonard, he's going to be in the box making plays. Titans got Dylan Ray-Dunes, which I like that they needed a tackle. He doesn't fit the mold of kind of what they like to do as much as like I don't even know. Yeah, nobody else went in that round that would fit that mold of how they play. Tevin Jenkins was like the closest thing to that. But anyways, then Colts went Dayo Odangbo. I think that's how you say that. He tore his Achilles, but he was going to be a 2nd-round pick if he didn't. So that was a good pick. So they went DN, 1st and 2nd round. Hell, they said we need to get to the quarterback. Get to Deshaun Watson if his ass is playing. The Steelers went Pat Freiermuth. He was, I would say, probably consensus the second best tight end. A lot of people compared him to Hunter Henry, that just left the Chargers, went to the Patriots. So I mean that's solid. So they got 2 pieces for their offense. 2 back picks that I didn't really understand. The Seahawks don't have another pick till either the 4th round or the 5th round, and they drafted a receiver. Which I mean, he's a nice receiver. Now he's older. He's like 23 already. But my problem with that was you need an offensive line to protect Russell Wilson. You drafted a receiver, which I mean, I guess you just give him more weapons and hope that the line can block. But he was going to be like a 3rd or 4th round receiver, so I didn't really get that. Then the Rams went and did the exact same shit and drafted Tutu Atwell. This dude, now, I mean, hell, he couldn't mess around and be Deshaun Jackson. Or Deshaun Jackson light. Even if it's a Deshaun Jackson light, then that's cool. But he's like 155. So you have to be like elite route running, like things of that nature, to be 155. But yeah, so then Chiefs got Nick Bolton, good little linebacker. There was actually a few players, being a Chargers fan, there's a few players I did not want them to pick, and I forgot that they had another pick, like a few picks after this. So I was like, whew. Now, not saying he's not a good player, but I just didn't want them to get a few other players. Panthers got Terrace Marshall, give Sam Darnold another weapon, which I like that. I like that pick. He's a pretty good receiver. The Saints went Pete Warner, linebacker from Ohio State. He's a good linebacker. I wasn't aware they needed a linebacker, but hell, I don't know everything about every team. I just know a little bit about every team. So I rest my case. They needed a damn linebacker, I guess. But he's a good one. Carlos Basham went to Buffalo Bills. Same thing as who was it that did it? The Colts. Get to the quarterback. That's what they need. The back end of that defense is decent at worst. 2 years ago they were really good. Last year they were So they got two DNs. Josh Myers went to Green Bay out of Ohio State, which was surprising because everybody thought that they were gonna pick. So they announced him as a center. Everybody thought they were gonna pick the person who went right after him because their Pro Bowl and All Pro center just left. Ooh, bro, this is like I keep on saying this about the damn Patriots, bro. So they got Ronnie Perkins out of Oklahoma. He's kind of one of those perfect Patriot. He's one of those outside linebacker hybrids. He can stand up and he can rush the passer. Like, bro, I'm tired of shit happening like this. He's nice. He's a perfect Patriot type of player. Okay, so then the next pick, the Chiefs got Creed Humphrey. I was actually talking to my grandpa about this. They signed a center, Austin Blythe. I don't know how you say it. They signed him this offseason from the Rams, but so I thought that might be their center for the next few years. Creed Humphrey is going to be the center for the next 10 years. So, the Chiefs, like the last 3, 4 years, 3, 4, 5 years, have been phenomenal at drafting, which I can't stand. But yeah, another great pick by the Chiefs. Last pick in that round, the Bucks drafted Kyle Trask to sit behind Tom Brady and learn from Tom Brady, and hopefully, he makes it do what he do. I like him. He's a decent quarterback at worst. At the beginning of the year, they were trying to compare him to like Josh Allen, which no, absolutely not. He's not as athletic as Josh Allen. Doesn't have the arm of Josh Allen either. But hell, good little backup pick. Bolt Gang is on the clock again. Let's see who they go. Okay. That's a little high, but shit, I'll take it. We got Trey McKitty out of Georgia. Hold on. So he went to Florida State and then transferred to Georgia because Florida State's program has been trash for the past few years. But he's one of those move tight ends. He athletic. He ran like 4.5 something. So he's athletic. We lost Hunter Henry. I think I've read that he's a decent blocker, but nothing ridiculous. Yeah, so Booger McFarland is just saying that it's a pick for the future. He has a lot of upside. He's not going to play right away. We have Hell, he might even be our 4th-string tight end, really. But I mean, I like it. Help. He might be 3rd-string. So we signed Jared Cook in the offseason. Then we have Donald Parham. He had a pretty good year last year, receiving tight end. And then Steven Anderson. He's a balanced tight end, but he had a good year too. Moving on to the 3rd round, we have Andre Cisco going to the Jaguars. A lot of people thought that the Jaguars, a lot of people thought the Jaguars were going to draft Moehrig. A lot of people thought they were going to draft Moehrig with one of their 2nd-round picks, and obviously they didn't. They ended up drafting Cisco. He's a good free safety. He tore his Achilles or ACL. I feel like everybody, that's happened to a few people where I don't remember if they tore their Achilles or ACL because it's too common in this draft. But so he tore whatever, but good rangy safety, good ball production, and that's what they need because their safeties aren't that good. The Donkeys are getting ready to pick. Broncos, if you don't know the Donkeys. Quinn Miners. Bro, that's a good pick. He's a nasty offensive lineman. He went to Wisconsin Whitewater, which is a D3? D2 or D3, I don't remember. But he's pretty athletic. I think is that the one that was 340 or something like that? He's a big dude but he can move though. So I like that pick. Now they need to get a quarterback. They're showing a kind of a montage of him training. He's doing just some weird shit, but I like it. Okay, no, he's not as big as I thought he was. He's 320. But oh my God, he just destroyed somebody. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go back to round 3. Vikings, 2nd pick of the round, drafted Kellen Mond. I'm assuming he's going to be a Kirk Cousins replacement. He has a better arm, more athletic. I mean, at this point, everybody's going to be going to athletic quarterbacks. In the next few years, every team will have an athletic quarterback as their starter. There's not going to be a whole lot of the pocket passing. You pocket passer and you can't run at all. There's not going to be any more Tom Brady's, Peyton Manning's, Phillip Rivers. That shit is dead. You have to be able to move a little bit. You don't got to be a Blazer, but you have to be able to move. Then right after that, the Texans picked Davis Mills. He's not going to start. Even if Deshaun Watson's not there, he's not starting. Because he needs some time. He needs to work on his processing. He's inconsistent. Work on his accuracy. Once you get to about third round, there's obviously a reason that you're a third, 4th round quarterback and on. You need to work on some shit. Then the Falcons went Jalen Mayfield. That was a good pick. I feel like, did they get a lineman last year? They got a lineman. No, they got 2 linemen, either last year or the year before, or maybe they went back-to-back years with a lineman. So they're trying to solidify that front, get some protection, be able to run the ball. Dallas on the clock. Sean Wade, okay. Oh, shit. Definitely. I can't hear it that well. I thought they said Sean Wade. They said Nashawn Wright. He's 6'4" corner. Hey, shit. Take it. 6'4" corner. That's a big ass boy. He ain't gonna lose a jump ball. I'll tell you that. Yeah, he looks decent. I mean, obviously, they show highlights. They're not gonna show lowlights for the most part. For these late round picks or later round picks, at least. Every once in a while they'll show some questionable shit about like a higher up pick, but yeah, he's looks decent. And then a 6'4" corner. There hasn't been many of those, so we'll see. The last one, he was like 6'3". Oh, they drafted 2 corners. I forgot about Kelvin Joseph. So they drafted 2 corners, but the last one went to the Patriots a few years ago. Jawan Williams, he was 6'3" or 6'4", something like that. All right, let's go. Jalen Mayfield, Joseph Asai was next, and excuse me, he went to the Bengals. I thought that was a good pick. He's upside. That's really all upside defensive end. They've run a 4-3 still, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he's gonna be a DN. He's gonna need to bulk up a little bit. He's like 250, but he needs to gain some more strength. You can't be a full-time DN at 250 in the NFL. Not gonna happen. Like 260, 265, that's a little bit more like it. So, but I mean, I like the pick. He's a Texas boy. If anybody didn't know, I'm a Longhorns fan. Hook 'em, baby. Then we got Brady Christensen from BYU. He went to the Panthers. I like that pick. Protect Sam Darnold. Like I said, there's a theme with this draft. Then New York got Aaron Robinson from UCF. I would assume he's going to be a slot corner. And they got Logan Ryan already there. Adoree Jackson signed. Logan Ryan went to safety though. He moved from corner to safety. They got James Bradbury. So yeah, Aaron Robinson is going to be the nickel corner. He's a solid little nickel corner. And then the Lions went Aleem McNeil. He's a run stuffer. They went Levi Ozumrike and the round before. So they got their penetration 3, and then they got their nose. So I like those picks. Then right after that, the Eagles went Milton Williams, and this, for anybody who hasn't heard it, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but athletically, he is like close to Aaron Donald. Now, as far as, hold on one second. Titan they're picking. Elijah Molden. Okay. I like that. Elijah Molden, he's one of those, he might be a safety. He can for sure play nickel. He might be a safety. You might be able to do a little bit of both with him. But he's he's little as hell. He's like 5'9", I think it's what it said. It's 5'9", like 185, 190. But he's a dog. So I like that pick. Yep. Okay, so Milton Williams, he put up Aaron Donald type athletic numbers. I think I was listening to something the other day, and out of like six athletic testing events, he ranked, or maybe 6 or 7, he ranked 99th percentile in 4 of them. Yes, I think that's what it was. 99th percentile in 4 of them. 93 in 2, and then 87 in 1, which was 87 was like bench maybe, I think, but like quicks and all that shit off the. I mean, if you look at his highlights, you're like, bro, what? Big man moving. Next pick, Benjamin St. Juste out of Minnesota, went to Washington football team. Is a good corner, dog, special teamer, and that always adds some value to teams. The Lions are on the clock. Ibatu Melifonwu. So one of the players that I liked a few years ago, so this is his little brother. I liked Obi Melifonwu. He was like 6'4", like 6'4", like 225. He was a safety, but he never panned out. The Raiders drafted him like 3-4 years ago. But yeah, so this is a little brother. His little brother is a corner. I'm a big corner, 6'3". I think he said like 215, something like that. I wouldn't have minded getting him if we would have passed on what's the name? Lasante Samuel Jr. But yeah, he's a good pick. Shit, I already forgot where he went. Where did he go? Detroit. Okay. Find where I was at. Benjamin St. Juice. He's a good corner. I would assume he probably won't start, but he's going to be a good special teamer. I mean, he'll get in on like dime or something like that, where they bring in extra DBs. But yeah, he's a good one. Osa, hell, I'm gonna butcher this. Odigzua from UCLA, defensive lineman. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a lot about him. He wasn't ranked high on a lot of the boards that I was reading and paying attention to. Like I said yesterday, there's about 5 to 10 that I look at, and I didn't read anything on him. 49ers. Ambry Thomas, why? Defensive back from Michigan. 6 foot 180. Boy, you a little light. The skinny thing. Oh, he opted out too. I mean, Louis Riddick. I like Louis Riddick a lot, and he's saying he's a good little player. Anyways, we got Paulson Adebo going to New Orleans. Sorry, I spaced for a second. Paulson Adebo going to New Orleans from Stanford. He's another good corner. He was always going to go second, third round, and I thought that was a solid pick. He's going to start. Going to take Janoris Robinson's place. He needs to work on his technique a little bit, consistency. And so then we have the Chargers next pick. So when I first saw the pick, I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't. But also because I hadn't read a whole lot on this dude. I'd seen his name once or twice, hadn't read a whole lot on him. But 10, 15 minutes after, I started seeing shit where there's like 4 or 5 people that are saying that he's going to be a better pro than he was in college. He had inconsistent quarterback play, but so I looked up his highlights, and they said he was the only receiver of the year that was giving Patrick Surtain fits, and Patrick Surtain was a first round top 10 corner. So that made me happy. I'm not gonna look up the tweets that I saw, but I mean they were saying he's gonna be one of the steals of the draft. Shit, I hope he is. If he's a dog, hey, that'll make me happy, because we already got some dogs in the receiving room in LA. And then we got Chaz Surratt going to Minnesota. He's one of those light linebackers. He's like 225, so he'll kind of be that. He'll be that the Will linebacker, running chase hit linebacker, however you want to say that. In Minnesota, then we got the Raiders made back-to-back picks. You got Malcolm Kuntz and Divine Diablo. Malcolm Kuntz, hadn't heard his name at all. Mel Kiper was saying he liked him a lot. He's the best player to come out of Buffalo since Khalil Mack. Now, obviously, he's not going to be Khalil Mack, I'm assuming, but he said he's a good player. And then Divine Diablo, he's one of those big safeties. He's going to be in the box, athletic, but one of those big safeties. He's 6'3", like 6'3", 225, and actually they announced him as a linebacker. So, and a lot of people thought that they were going to draft a linebacker, so that makes sense. If they want him to bulk up a little bit and play linebackers, then that's a good pick for him. Dolphins went Hunter Long, tight end from Boston College, and I like it, but it was excuse me. I like it, but it was a little surprising because they do have Mike Gesicki, but also Brian Flores is from the Patriots. Run 2 tight end sets. They're gonna, I'm assuming, run 2 tight end sets. Run play action with Tua. They've fortified the offensive line a little bit, so I think they're gonna try to do some New England type things in Miami. I mean, hell, they already have been, but so they have 2 good tight ends now. Then you got Diami Brown. He went to the Washington football team. Thought that was a good pick. A lot of people thought he was going to go like maybe. Now, I think that was probably getting a little ahead of ourselves, but they were saying maybe late round 1, but definitely round 2. So he went round 3. LA Rams are picking. Ernest Jones, linebacker, South Carolina. South Kakalaki. This is gonna be a good, solid backup linebacker. He can fill in a pinch. Thumper. I like him. Yeah. So then back to back picks that I like. So Tommy Tremble went to the Carolina Panthers right after that, and Tommy Tremble was he was a backup at Notre Dame, so he didn't get that many touches, or he didn't get that many catches, but he is kind of like the H-back tight end there. So they brought in like a 5-star recruit as a freshman, and that freshman, they were giving him the ball. But I don't even say he's a good athlete, a really good athlete. A lot of people are comparing him. They're saying he has kind of like that. He's in the mold of like not a Gronk, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, now they're saying more George Kittle than Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is a little bit more fluid than he is, but Gronk in terms of not Gronk, George Kittle. Sorry. So they're saying he's a little bit like George Kittle because he's nasty in the run game. Like he's trying to dominate you. As a tight end, he's trying to dominate you in the run game. And then he has the juice to, like, if he catches the ball and you have a bad angle, he taking it to the crib. Now the Ravens are on the clock. Excuse me. Okay, so Baltimore was on the clock. Had a few technical difficulties. So let me go back down. So I was talking about Tommy Tremble. Baltimore ended up picking Ben Cleveland, and I love that pick. That was a great pick for them. He's 1 year removed, but he's going to replace Marshall Yanda. Dude's like 6'6", 243. He's a people mover. And that fits that offense, perfectly. If you know the Ravens, then yeah, that fits perfectly. So then we got the Cowboys. The Cowboys selected Chauncey Golston. And if that's the person that I'm thinking of, he doesn't – have a lot of juice in the pass rush, but he's a solid run stuffer. Then the Packers selected Amari Rogers, and I thought that was a good pick. Somebody add a little different dynamic because they have Devontae Adams, and then a bunch of big body jump ball receivers. Then we got Wyatt Davis from why can't I think of OSU? What is Ohio State? There we go. He's probably gonna step in and be a day one starter at guard. So I like that pick. When you're getting day one starters in the third round, I mean, how can you not like it? We got Kendrick Green from Illinois. He went to the Steelers. He's probably going to be another day one starter. The Steelers O-line needs to be revamped, which I mean they always do a good job of having a good O-line. So I mean, so they had Villanueva left in free agency. Marquise Pouncey retired. So they just got to revamp it. And then Trey Sermon went to the 49ers. I mean, I like Trey Sermon as a back, but I don't really like him in this not Seattle, San Francisco scheme. Because they run a lot of wide zone, and I don't necessarily think that he's a wide zone type of running back. So, yeah, like I said, I like the back, just not the fit. Nico Collins went to the Texans. Texans they need talent. They I don't say void of talent, but pretty damn close to void of talent outside of a few pieces. And we got Patrick Jones. Dean went to what the hell was that? Got ghosts in here. Ghosts? Sorry. Patrick Jones went to Minnesota. DN / outside linebacker, but he's going to be a DN. He's a good pass rusher. Needs to develop just a little bit, but I mean he's a good pass rusher. Then the Browns went Anthony Schwartz out of Auburn, and he's probably the fastest. I don't know, between him and Jalen Waddle for the fastest player in the draft. I think he ran a 4.25 or something at his pro day, so he's been scooting. But he also people have known that since he started playing at Auburn that he was gonna be 4.2s because he was a track star in high school and at Auburn, I think. Then Titans went Monty Rice, a good linebacker out of Georgia. I don't know if they lost one of their linebackers or not. If they did, then I understand it. If they didn't, I know they had Rashaan Evans and Jayon Brown, but I don't remember if they lost Jayon Brown. I know Rashaan Evans' rookie contract isn't up yet, but good linebacker nonetheless. We got Spencer Brown from Northern Illinois. I thought he was going to go 4th or 5th round because he's a little bit of a developmental person, but also he went to Buffalo, and I think they kept all of their starters from last year, so that will be, I would assume he's going to sit and develop. Then I went over to Ben Cleveland. Then the Bucks drafted Robert Hainsey. I didn't know who that was, but found out he was the right tackle for Notre Dame. And they always going to play good clips, but he had some good highlights. From what I saw, he has a little mean streak, and he won't start, but he'll be a good backup until he does start. I think their tackles are older. Or I say tackles, their tackle is older. He might play guard though. Because they just drafted Tristan Wirfs last year for the right side. I know it's not Andre Smith. I don't know. It's somebody that was drafted like 10 years ago. So he might replace him or play guard. And then the last pick before the comp pick started was Ronnie Perkins. And just like I said yesterday, and I said shit earlier for the second round, the Patriots always seem to have somebody fall to them that it's absolutely perfect for him. And he's one of those D end outside linebacker hybrids that they all I feel like they draft one every year. But yeah, so he's one of those perfect fit for them. You hate to see it. That's really all I can say. Then the comp pick started, and excuse me, the Chargers had the first comp pick, and this is kind of goes to our other pick in the round. I thought that the pick could be later. Like if Josh Palmer would have been this pick, and then Trey McKitty would have been the next pick, I would have been a little bit more okay with it. But he's a developmental tight end, really good athlete, move tight end. But I mean, hell, he might be able to take over for Jared Cook next year, because I would assume Jared Cook signed a 1-year deal. So he'll be there for a year. He might retire next year. Probably 2-3 years is the max that he's going to be in the league. I'm saying he's old for a tight end. Then we got Quinn Meinerz going to Denver. Another good pick by Denver. He's a good offensive lineman. He might take some time to develop. I mean, or hell, he might step in and just be good. He's a D3 lineman, but I mean, he's a big dude. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", 320. And he's pretty athletic too. So I like that. I like that pick. Nashawn Wright went to the Cowboys. I want to say this was the dude. I'm pretty sure he's a 6'4" corner, that's damn tall for a corner. But it's one of those Dallas needs defense, and they drafted defense. Then Tennessee went Elijah Molden. He's like a nickel kind of hybrid. He could play some safety. He might have played safety a little bit, but so he's a nickel hybrid. I don't know. I didn't know if they needed a nickel or not, but he's a good nickel. He'll be a nickel starter day one, unless they put him at safety. Then we got Ifeatu Melifonwu. He's the little brother of Obi Melifonwu, who got drafted a few years ago. And he's a good corner. He's a big corner, 6'3". His brother was like 6'4", I think. So just runs in the family. I wouldn't have mind drafting him if we wouldn't have drafted Asante. Then we had Ambry Thomas Melifonwu went to Detroit. Ambry Thomas went to San Francisco. I didn't really know a whole lot about him, but from what I was listening to, not Charles Davis, Louis Riddick, he was saying he's a pretty solid corner. He sat out last year, so I would assume that's why I didn't really hear of him. Then the Rams drafted Ernest Jones, decent little linebacker out of South Carolina. He's a thumper. Be a 2-down linebacker. But I mean, a nice little rotational linebacker. So I like that. And then Brandon Stevens went to Baltimore. I didn't know anything about. Excuse me. I didn't know anything about him. And then the last pick of today was Baron Browning. and the Donkeys picked him. And I mean, Denver had a quietly a good little draft. He's kind of like so he played outside backer at Ohio State, but it was really more of like a rover. So I mean, basically he kind of played like a big ass safety, like a big safety linebacker hybrid. But so I really like that pick. So I just want to go back through really quick and the picks that I love. So I loved Elijah Moore to the Jets. I loved Asante Samuel going to the Chargers. I loved Azeez Ojulari going to the Giants. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah going to the Browns. Terrace Marshall going to the Panthers. Love that one. Creed Humphrey. It's one of those, like, I love it from a team building aspect, but he went to the damn Chiefs. So I can't stand it. Then I loved Andre Cisco in the third round. I loved Andre Cisco going to the Jaguars. If he can fix some of his so for every time that he makes a good play on the ball, his ass is gonna get beat. But he's a ball hawk, so I like that. I love that pick. I love the player, not necessarily the pick. Milton Williams going to the Eagles. Paulson Adebo going to the Saints. I love that pick. Diami Brown going to the Washington football team. Love that pick. Who do they? Curtis Samuel. So they have 3 dynamic receivers now. So it'll be fun to see what the football team offense is like. Another pick I love, Tommy Tremble going to the Panthers. So they got one in each round that I love. Then Amari Rodgers going to Green Bay. Love that pick. Dynamic. I think, if Aaron Rodgers stays, then he'll finally have a secondary receiving option to Devontae Adams. Ben Cleveland to Baltimore. That might be that's up there. That might be my second favorite pick. Chargers pick got to be my first, but that might be my second favorite pick because that fits so perfectly. Then, as much as I hate the Patriots, love the Ronnie Perkins pick. He fell to him. They say he's a DN, but he played DN in college in a 4-2-5. So that for people who don't know what like a 4-2-5 is just a certain type of defense. You got 4 linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 DBs. So that means everybody is a little bit smaller, and it's in the Big 12. They're spread air raid, so you don't need to be as big. But yeah, so he's gonna be a hybrid 4-3-3-4 outside. And then the Baron Browning, that was another really good pick. So yeah, that's the end of day 2. We got 1 day left. Tomorrow starts at like 12 o'clock, and I don't remember about how long that runs. I'm assuming that's gonna run probably 5 to 6 hours. I'll be doing one tomorrow night. That'll be uploaded tomorrow night, and then Sunday, I have my first guest. So I enjoyed doing this. I enjoyed day 2. I enjoyed the Chargers picks. There was a lot of good picks in there. Like obviously I just said. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I hope to see you guys every episode. See you guys later.